All right, so now we're going to look at part B, number 2. This says find an equation for each line. So I'm going to recommend that you start with the lines that are either horizontal or vertical, not the ones that are at an incline first, because those are probably the easiest ones to do. If they are a horizontal or vertical line, that means that they're either x equals a specific number or y equals a specific number. So let's take a look at line R. So if we look at line R, each of the values is staying the same in terms of their x or their y value. Well, each of the values is staying the same in terms of their x values. Okay, so even though they're changing in y, the x value is staying the same. It's staying at -2. So we can say that the equation for R would be x equals -2. Now the opposite's going to be true for line T. The y values are staying the same and the x values are changing. So we're going to say that regardless of the x value, the y value is always equal to -3. Okay? So now that we've got those two out of the way, we're going to take a look at our other lines that are on an incline. And the first thing we're going to do is find the slope. Because as a reminder, lines that are not perfectly horizontal or vertical are in the form y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope or how much we move with each point, and b is the vertical intercept or where we begin. Okay, so for line Q, I'm going to pick 2 points that intersect on the grid line. So I'm going to pick this point here, and I'm going to pick this point here, and I'm going to make a slope triangle. So I am going down 3 spaces and over 4 spaces. So my slope is -3/4. So remember with slope, it is vertical change over horizontal change, or change in y over x, or rise over run. Those are all ways of explaining the same thing. So I'm going to write y equals my slope, which is -3/4 times x. Then I'm going to add to that my y-intercept. So my y, or vertical intercept, the place where my line crosses the y-axis, is at the the y value -1. So the equation for the line is y equals -3/4 x plus -1. So this is where we get the 3/4, the slope triangle. This is where we get the -1, the y-intercept. Okay, now let's move on to S. Okay, so now let's take a look at S. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pick 2 points where it's going through the grid line. So I could pick, for example, this point here and this point here. I'm going to draw in a slope triangle. So my vertical change is +2. My horizontal change is +1. So I'm going to say y equals 2/1, which simplifies to 2. So I would accept either 2/1 or 2, either way works, times x. And that's because 2 or 2/1 is our slope. Then we're going to find the y-intercept, or the vertical intercept, which is at y value 1. So we're going to say +1. So that's the equation for my line S. So as a recap, we found all of the lines that were either horizontal or vertical, wrote those equations first. For the ones that had an incline or a slope, We're going to find the slope first using a slope triangle, and then find the vertical intercept and write that in our form, y equals mx plus b.